Hi, I'm Chris from airwindows, and I have something new for you today. It is called PurestWarm, and it's kind of a bonus because this month our my Patreon was over $700, and I've decided that when that is true, I'm going to pull a second plugin from the list of plugins that I use more towards the bottom, like whatever we've reached or less. And PurestWarm is available to that, so here you go. It's skipping way ahead because otherwise that'd be coming out in like 2023 or something. And here's what it does. I'll sneak it over to this maybe. PurestWarm is essentially like Purest Drive chopped in half. What you do is you select normal polarity or inverse polarity, and what it will do is apply an incredibly pure, clean saturation to just one half of the waveform. What it's doing with the top half of the waveform is literally passing it through, not even applying the noise shaping. Although either way, I actually am doing the denormalization over the entire thing. But here's what you get is normal. This should give us some more sort of second harmonics on the deep kick type stuff here. Or we can do inverse, and inverse is... that's actually having a bigger effect on the bass than I was expecting. And we're hearing this a little bit. Got that, and then to feel a kind of roundness about it. Now this is not really meant for the two bus. The idea is you can pick something like a bass, and I even have a bass, but I'm not sure it's going to be an appropriate one. Yeah, see, this is a bass sound, but it's not going to be particularly useful for that. So we can do classic old Alien Kittens. See whether we can make something happen here. Now with that one, I'm able to get something interesting happening on the kick drum, where this is without it. Listen to the roundness of the kick. These Purest plugins are not designed to make huge, big, obvious effects. I'll say that. But what it's able to do is throw a subtle sort of warming quality onto either the top half or the bottom half of the waveform and leave the other half incredibly untouched. And you could use this on, say, you're probably going to want to use it on something with low frequencies that take up a fair bit of the waveform. But that said, you could use it in a kick drum, you could use it in a bass. Part of the idea with it is to be able to build it into something like a bass patch or templates where you're able to use this particular effect somewhere. So you build it into the channel strip template that you're using. And then it's a no-fuss thing. It's just there. It's just only doing this extremely clean, lossless effect. Here's Stealth Kit Jam again. And that one, I believe, wanted inverse. You can hear how the bass guitar sounds a little warmer than it did before. See how this crazy kitty feels warmer than she did before. That might be a hint that I've said enough. Have I said enough? So this is PurestWarm. And it is for free because I'm supported by Patreon, or me and the cat are supported by Patreon. And so I'm able to put this out and you can just download it and use it. You know, feel free to do so. Please don't eat my cable. Feel free to do. Did I or did I not ask you to please not eat my cable? So you should feel free to use this. And it is not going to be a big obvious thing, but on the other hand, it'll bring a certain... Here, let's play with it with empty pictures for a little bit, just as long as we're doing this. That's a low bass, so... See, with this, it's kind of sounding better cutting off this half of the waveform, whereas inverse feels a little bit tubby. Whereas this is balancing things out nicer. And as you can hear, there's this sort of overwarming effect going on, and you take it back out, and that's more how I mixed it. So you don't necessarily want to throw this on just two bus in general, but it is very clean. I mean, you could be using it for mastering if it turned out to work exactly the way that you wanted. And yeah, like I said, this is free, it's Patreon supported, and it's one of many things that I'll be putting out. For instance, people have been asking for Purest Drive, which is also a variation of this concept. It's the simplest possible algorithm that will not touch the sort of depth and resonance of the sound that you've got, like what you've captured into digital audio. This will not thin it and weaken it and make it poorer. It will do the thing that it does as cleanly as possible to like about 80-bit precision, I think is what long double goes to. And it's dead reliable, doesn't need a lot of CPU. And it's just one of those little snippets of plugins that you can use to fill a particular bill or solve a particular problem or get a particular effect. Anything that's really bassy and that takes up a good amount of the signal range on the recording. If not, it'll just have less of an effect. But anything that's good and bassy, you'll probably hear an effect with either normal or inverse. And what's more, you're probably going to have a strong preference as to which normal or inverse you like better. It might not be the same for every single track or every single sound source that you're using, but you're almost certainly going to have a strong preference, and that's always kind of fun. So I hope you enjoy playing with PurestWarm. I hope you like it.